All right, so let's get into this. Duke University professor, his name is Jerry Ho, who is a political scientist. He wrote that New York Times was wrong and politicians in Baltimore have failed them. And here's a quote. He said, "The blacks get symbolic recognition and utterly incompetent mayor, who handled this so badly from beginning to end that her resignation would have been demanded if she were white. The blacks get awful editorials like this that tell them they should feel sorry for themselves." Mark, I'm going to start with you. Do you think that racism cited in the New York Times editorial was an excuse for blacks to feel sorry for themselves?
Absolutely not. Dr. Ho is absolutely incorrect. First of all, we saw incompetence in Ferguson. I thought it was Huff, but I was going to go with the flow. But in Ferguson, you had a white mayor, you had white police chief, and you had incompetence, and somehow they managed to survive a whole lot of time without any significant pressure to lose their job. People asked for it, just like they asked for it in Baltimore. So it's not true. What this professor did, Dr. Huff, was inappropriate. It was not civil. He has every right to say it. This isn't a free speech argument, so the free speech trolls can be quiet. I'm saying he has every right to say it. I have every right to say this is inappropriate, inaccurate, unempirical, and disgusting.
All right, Ben, go ahead. We can hear you, but we can't see you, I think. Oh, he's back. Go ahead.
Look, I think the main thing here is you have a guy that's saying something that may be incredibly politically incorrect, but was he making a semi-legitimate point with some of his corrections and saying that people went very easy on the mayor of Baltimore, partly because she was African-American in a city where the riots were happening, and if it would have been somebody else that was white, would they have taken a lot more criticism? I mean, you can debate that, but Ferguson, remember, there was no hands up, don't shoot. A lot of things came out after the fact, and there was a lot of people that called for people to resign and quit, and some of them did quit as they should have on that police force.
Okay, let's talk about more of what he said. He said in 1965, the Asians were discriminated against at least as badly as blacks. So where are the editorials that say racism doomed the Asian Americans? They didn't feel sorry for themselves, but worked doubly hard. So here's the problem. Asians are often painted in a model of minority comparisons to black. So, I mean, is it fair to compare, this has been first, Asians to blacks in this regard?
I don't think it's fair to compare any different races. You have to look at for what it is. And I think his point was you have had two different tracks in his mind. He's saying that many Asian Americans and those that were treated terribly during the wartime, when people were terrified of them because of being spies in the war, they came out of it and they didn't say we need affirmative action or anything else. They worked very hard. They went to school and they've made incredible lives for themselves. And many people say that they are some of the most brilliant minds in America right now and have done great things. His other argument was other people have been using a crutch for far too long. That's his viewpoint. He's seen it through academia for a long time.
So, Mark, I've interviewed a lot of people who say that they were racist. They were raised to respond to racism by working twice as hard. And you should never give cops an excuse to arrest you for doing anything, the appearance of wrongdoing. Does the professor have a point there? And that's sort of what Ben is saying here.
Ben's saying a few things. So let's deal with all of them real fast. One, yes, he's been saying this in academia, but his academic expertise isn't in this area. I read two of his books. I read one this weekend after he made these absurd comments. His expertise is in Russia, in the Soviet Union, a little bit of Poland. So he has no more appeal to expertise than anybody else in this area.
The guy's got let's not discount his degrees though. He's got a lot of degrees on a lot of different things. I mean, look at his resume. Right. It's not like he's an idiot.
Yeah. He's not an idiot. His degrees are in political science, and his expertise is communist Russia. So, yes, if we were talking about communist Russia, I would defer. I'm not going to defer in this. I'm going to rely on my degrees and your degrees and everybody else's degrees. But let's get back to the point here. I think what he's saying that's incorrect is that you can't compare groups. First of all, Asians aren't all doing well. To monolithically paint Asians is simply incorrect. If I were to look at Cambodian youth, if I were to look at Hmong youth in, say, South Philadelphia or Milwaukee, you'd find very similar outcomes to black folks. So we can't paint Asians with the same brush. It's very, very dangerous. But beyond that, Asians did not come here as property. Asians have not been subjected to the same type of state violence consistently for 200 years. I'm not trying to have the oppression Olympics and say we have it worse than Asians and vice versa. I'm saying everybody's context is different, and to compare them is simply it's ahistorical, it's inaccurate, and it's unproductive.
But here,
I want to talk to you.
It's racist.
I've got to go, but I want to talk to you guys about this if we have another chance, because this is what I thought was interesting. He said the issue of whether my comments were largely accurate in writing me. No one said that it was wrong. I was wrong, just racist. The question is, is whether I was
wrong.
right on what the nuanced story is, since anything in a paragraph is too simple. So I think you're saying it's flat out wrong, Marc Lamont Hill. We'll talk more.